life-changing tips that I wish somebody would have taught me back in the days. For this reason, ladies, I'm here to share these valuable lessons with you so that you can make your life easier and have better success. My dear Algen ladies, I am finally back after a really long YouTube break. Now admit it, did you miss me? I promise you that I'm truly back here for good. I had to take a little bit of time out because there has been a lot of things going on for School of Affluence this year, and then particularly for my online finishing school, where I've created a second course and I launched it this summer, and we had an amazing summer school going on. But now I'm ready to get back on YouTube and kind of pick up the reins from where we left it at. Before I start with today's video, I need to quickly inform a little bit of kind of the latest news and updates. If you're following me on Instagram stories, you are probably already up to date, but if you don't, make sure to follow at School of Affluence. But I'm going to give you the most important details right now. So for those of you who know, the enrollment for Secrets of the Elite Woman, which is my one and only program at the moment, is currently closed. We will be opening up the doors for enrollment again, but only once more this year. That will happen a little bit later, but if you want to make sure that you get the announcement for when the doors open, visit schoolofaffluence.com and put yourself on the wait list. Now, another big exciting news, and this one I know a lot of you have been waiting for. So I can finally announce to you that I have launched my weekly podcast. And it's called the Anna Bay Podcast. Now, it's also free of charge, and this is a podcast that's going to cater for a different side of me and the content that I create, because I want you to get to know me more on a personal level, and this podcast will be the perfect place for that, because there I'll be able to kind of let my hair down and just sit down and have a chit chat with you about everything. And of course, there will still be talks about elegance and affluence, but it will be about a lot of other things as well. So I want you to, of course, go and listen and go and subscribe to my podcast. Those ladies who will listen to my podcast on Apple Podcast, make sure you leave a review and you screenshot the review and email it to my email address, podcast@annabay.com. This way, on the last day of September, I will draw a lucky winner who will win all access to all my courses. Now, ladies, that was all the updates. I am now going to finally get into the juicy but interesting topic of mine. I know all these tips have helped me upgrade in life and elevate me to the next level, so I know they will do the same for you. So let's start with the life-changing tip number 1. And this one you probably heard me say already, but if you still haven't done this, what are you waiting for? My name is Steamer, Anna Bay's Steamer. So you know what this is. This is a handheld steamer, and I want this little person to become your new best friend. Because you know what, ladies? This is by far a life-changing piece of equipment. And I don't know why nobody really talks about the fact that how can you travel or live without a steamer? So ironing your clothes is of course a must, but a lot of people find it too complicated and too time-consuming, and it's also difficult to do it when you're traveling. But this is why a steamer is such a good solution, because when you are traveling, you can take this thing with you literally anywhere you go. Even if you're traveling only with hand luggage. It will be a little bit annoying, but it's doable. Then you don't have to use any other equipment besides this and a little bit of tap water. And then you basically just steam your garment quickly like this without having to really invest much time or effort. This is just such a better solution for getting all those wrinkles out of your clothes and looking a little bit more polished. Because you know what's the easiest way of looking cheap? Well, that is if this garment is wrinkly. Even if a designer garment that you've paid thousands of dollars for, if it's wrinkly, it's not going to save you. You are going to look cheap. But if you steam your item, regardless of its price, it's always going to look expensive. I know that, of course, as the day goes on, my clothes are never going to be 100% wrinkle-free, so I'm not really obsessing about that. But I just feel like we should do everything possible to prevent wrinkles and leave our home looking immaculate, or at least trying our best. And then kind of whatever happens after, that's just life. But really, ladies, all of the people that I have met in real life who recognize me from my YouTube channel and who have listened to my advice, a lot of these ladies have actually told me, Anna, I did take your advice on the steamer and it has truly elevated my entire wardrobe. Thank you so much. And I just can't stress enough how important this is, ladies. So get a steamer. It doesn't matter which one it is, as long as it gets the job done. I don't really have a preference in steamer. I've only tried one. It gets the job done. I'm glad. So it's all good. Life-changing tip número 2. I'm gonna make a bold statement, ladies. And I do have this philosophy, and this is actually why you keep hearing me talk about therapy all the time. Because the second life-changing tip is that I really want as many people as possible to get therapy, but only if they're ready for it. So I do have a strong belief that if more people around the world would seek out help and resolve their issues and their struggles, I believe we perhaps one day would then achieve peace on this earth, or maybe just live in a world where people are kinder. I feel like this world is full of negativity and a lot of pain, and negativity comes from pain. But the majority of people worldwide don't address the pain and don't deal with the root cause of the pain. We all have our baggage, we all have our damages. Some people have it worse, some have it easier, but everybody out there has a story. But this is what's so sad, is that not everybody deals with their difficulties, and that creates a spiral effect into negativity, into unhappiness, and so on. And one of the big missions with the work that I personally do online is that I want to do something good in this world. And one of those things that I want to do is that I really want to normalize therapy and really take the stigma out of it. I mean, I have been so open about the fact that I have been going to therapy for more than now 4 years, and I will probably always go to therapy. My life has changed dramatically because of the help of therapy. And as an example, all these things that I sit here and teach you and help you when it comes to personal development, a lot of these things I had to go through myself. So there's a lot of aha moments that I get continuously, and as a result, because I'm always dealing with my mental health, with personal growth and self-improvement and personal development. And I think the difference between me and maybe some other people is that I truly have understood that therapy, it is not a shameful thing to do. It is not something crazy people do or mentally unstable people. Actually, a lot of strong people who sees therapy as a personal growth tool, and they use it so that they can become more successful, that they can improve themselves and so on. I don't know if anybody of you have watched the series Billions. There you have this top-level business owner who has in the series this therapist working with him, I think full-time, who's just basically there dealing with him and helping him forward. And that's how I see a therapist. It's somebody who helps you move forward in life and helps you upgrade yourself and makes you stronger, etc., etc. Now, you can't just rely on therapy for that. You have to always combine that with other methods and tools as well. But I would personally say that for my own experience, therapy has been a game changer. So if you are somebody who really wants to take this personal upgrade seriously, believe me when I say that therapy is going to help you take you to that level. And yes, it's going to be an investment, but believe me, when you invest in your self-growth and in your mental health, that's the best investment you can ever do, because you are going to have an unlimited amount of things coming to you in return because you did that investment. Number 3, define your lifestyle goals. All of those ladies who are taking my Secrets of the Elite Woman program, they know that I always stress about in the beginning how you need to define your lifestyle goals. And the reason for that is, as I teach transformation and as I am somebody who is coaching women to be able to achieve their goals and whatever it is that they want to achieve in life, I believe that the clearer vision you have in your head of where you want to go, the easier it will be to strategize that path. This doesn't mean though that you must know all the answers before you start. No, that will create paralysis. Nothing is ever set in stone, and it's always fine to change your mind along the way and change direction and just like try things out. But the more you know in advance, the better. However, you also need to take that action. But I do encourage everybody, define your direction, at least the first few steps. What type of lifestyle do you want to live? What will make you truly happy? What emotional needs do you have? What material needs do you have? What lifestyle aspirations do you have? What purpose do you have? How can you combine all of these things, and what will that outcome look like? An important thing to take into account is don't start going into stereotypes now, because only you know what's best for you in your transformation. There is no right and wrong, and we create our right. I want you to really think about your needs, because the focus here is not the material, even though that's also important, but the most important is to feel happy and fulfilled in life on all the chapters that kind of life is about. But think about what that is for you, and make sure to also think outside the box, not to narrow your mind to just one specific way. At this point, anything is possible, so make sure you dream as big as you want. Life-changing tip number 4. You have heard me talk about good skin and good hair so many times, but did you know that that's the actual secret to looking incredibly polished at all times? Well, ladies, sometimes it's really not rocket science why some things are the way they are. If you see affluent people and you wonder, why do they look so incredibly polished at all times? You're going to notice that majority of them, if not all of them, all have their hair and their skin in perfect order. You need to have acne-free skin that is moisturized, that is in good shape, and you need to have hair that is fresh, clean, blow-dried, or simply looking on point. Believe me when I say that your skin and your hair will really create miracles for your entire look. You can even take a step back and not stress too much about what you wear, because what's going on here, the canvas and the foundation, is going to set the entire tone for your entire appearance. Trust me. Plus, people first look here. So if this is all good, then what you wear becomes secondary. Then of course you have other details such as nails, makeup, etc. But to be honest with you ladies, those are secondary. Primary is skin and hair, so make sure to always make effort with these two things, and believe me, your appearance is truly going to upgrade. Life-changing tip number 5. Ladies, use your nicest things at all times. Because guess what? How will we actually feel elegant and live elegantly if we never step into the elegant vibration or use our elegant things or our nicest things? In my program, Secrets of the Elite Woman, I do teach women of how to adopt a millionaire mindset, because right now it is truly important to get rid of that poor person's mindset where it's almost like you are too afraid of using your nicest things because you always feel like there's going to be a lack of it and you're so worried to wear them out and so and so. But we need to let go of those fears, because that's a poor person's mindset. I want you to adopt a millionaire mindset, because that is truly going to elevate you to the next level. It's also going to do loads of other benefits that also has to do with law of attraction, etc., etc. But please, ladies, use the nice porcelain that you have in your house. Don't use the ugliest things. And same goes for the things that you wear the most. Make sure they are the nicest things, or at least they are of such high quality that you always feel beautiful when you wear them. I also want you to think about that your nicest things are actually charged with a lot of energy. And that's positive energy. And that's energy that makes you feel luxurious and elegant and on top of your game. And what happens when you use your nicest things? Well, you expose yourself more and more and more to this type of energy. And when you wire yourself with that energy over and over again, day in, day out, day in, day out, do you know what will start happening in your life? Your life is going to change dramatically. Some call it law of attraction, some people call it that the subconscious mind starts seeking out things that you wire your conscious with. So I want you to start using all of the nice things. Do not be afraid of breaking them or wearing them out or anything like that, because you know what? It's going to be worth it. And by the time you ruin those things, believe me, you will have already elevated yourself and your life to the next level, to a level where you will be like, oh, you know what, I can easily replace that thing or buy myself something even better. Life-changing tip number 6. And my students have definitely heard me talk about this on repeat, but I will forever talk about this on repeat. Ladies, I'm talking about being attentive to detail. Because one thing that I've noticed is majority of people actually don't. And that's what separates them from a different kind, the kind that does pay attention to the details. You know what's the difference between these two kinds though? Is that the second kind will stand out and look more elegant, more put together, more refined, and so on. Why? Well, instead of just thinking about, oh, okay, what should I be wearing or what should I do? The people who think in details will be like, okay, I need to make sure that here it looks very nice and neat, that I have no wrinkles in my clothing, that there are no things that are poking out, that these small details are like put together in a very nice and neat way. Or, as an example, instead of thinking, oh, what should I do to be more elegant? People who look into the details will be like, okay, let me fine-tune something small in my body language, because that is going to change a lot of the things. Maybe it's something in my posture. Maybe because I am all the time like this, people think that I am this way, but if I become a little bit more like this, people will think that I'm different. As an example, okay? Just wanted to illustrate for you what type of details I'm talking about. It's important for me to make you understand that it's about the way of thinking. I want you to start thinking in details and not just think about things in the overall general picture. Look at the details and start analyzing how you can improve your details. Last but not least, life-changing tip number 7. And this is one of my favorite ones. I'm talking about boundaries. But I'm talking about setting boundaries with men. Now, one of the things that me and School of Affluence have been repeatedly misunderstood about, and that is the fact that I teach women to become a commodity to men because I believe in traditional gender roles. Now, these people have absolutely no clue what they're talking about, especially since setting boundaries has been something that I've been teaching from the very beginning. In particularly, we go in quite deep on the subject in Secrets of the Elite Woman program. And why am I doing this? Because this is how you elevate yourself and your status, and social status as well, to the next level. But on this point, I want to refer specifically to setting boundaries with men, because you can also set boundaries with people around you, with your family, with yourself, etc. But why I want to mention men is because women are raised to accommodate men. This has been part of our culture from I don't even know how long, but that's because we live in a patriarchy. In order not to become a commodity to somebody else, we need to learn how to set boundaries, and we need to feel comfortable with setting boundaries. Because there is a stigma around how a woman should be and shouldn't be, a lot of women feel like they don't feel comfortable setting boundaries with men. They feel like they have to accommodate men because we have been programmed this way in our society. In some cultures, unfortunately, you have it even stronger, and in some cultures you have it less. But I would say in all cultures all around the world, unfortunately, it's still like this, and it will probably be like this until the day we all collectively start setting boundaries and stick to our boundaries. Now, what type of boundaries do I refer to? It could be something as women feel sometimes that they cannot say no. And this is really important. A woman should always say no to a man when she wants to say no. A woman must know that she is not here to please everybody. And even though we are creatures who want to mate with the opposite sex, surely to some degree we want to please the opposite sex the same way we expect them to please us. But there is a balance of how that is done. Then there is an unhealthy balance when women just want to please men all the time. And unfortunately, because of the harsh dating climate today, what has happened and what's currently going on, and unfortunately, ladies, it's a decline that's happening right now. Women have become a bit more desperate, and we are all the time putting men on a pedestal. We are worried about what men will think. We are worried about what men will do. We are worried perhaps if the man will leave us. So we give away our power to men, when in reality, it should be the other way around. And it has been, okay? If women were less desperate, and if we were not so afraid of being alone and setting boundaries, etc., we would actually be able to contain our power and make men run after us and make sure we are the ones who are the choosers, who are choosing the mate, instead of the opposite, where it kind of feels that men are the ones who are choosing whether they want to be with us or not. When we set boundaries with ourselves, that basically means we validate ourselves. We don't need external validation. That means we also step into our own power. That means not being desperate to the point that we give away our power. But I also think it's about feeling secure enough in yourself where you feel like, you know what? I deserve to be treated like a queen. I deserve to be prioritized. I deserve to be with somebody who appreciates me, to be with a man who values me and treats me like I am his goddess. There are men like that in this world, but they're getting less and less, ladies. What's important is that you learn how to set boundaries with men, because what happens and what will happen is that you are going to start attracting a different type of man, a better type of man, a man that is actually going to treat you better. So believe me, learning how to set boundaries is a massive investment you can do in your personal life and especially in your dating life. So that's going to be one of the big goals that I have with all my content, to help you on a better path, but also to help empower you, because ultimately that is my mission here, and that's why I do what I do. Now, ladies, don't forget to go and listen to the Anna Bay podcast, where I will get a little bit more personal with you. But after this video, I definitely want you to watch the next video, which is called 10 Things Elegant Ladies Never Do.